I'm at 274 Ward Avenue in Bellevue, Kentucky. I'm doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. I'm looking for any structural issues, roof intrusion, anything that may be of concern to the buyer. Our access is, there's a stack in the basement, little bathroom toilet area. We're going to be the rear right of the basement if you're looking at it from the front of the house. And so we go in here, a little bit of cast iron. I expect it to be clay under the floor, which it is as soon as we get under there. Got a little bit of debris here, but nothing crazy. Clay is a pretty normal material for this age of house. It's really good. There's no definitive lifespan or anything. Looks like just a little stuff built up probably from the house sitting empty. A little bit of build up. It should soften up once it's under heavy use, unless it's a little bit of mineral deposits or something. So it does look like there is a clean out in the front. There's a little bit of, so there is a little break here, about 20 feet out. And I'll stop on the way back. I will be able to get past it, but I'll stop on the way back and we'll locate it, because the pipe, I don't know if it's affecting flow, but it does. There's a chunk missing, stuff out of the bottom left hand side, and some radial cracking. We should still be in the house. So if we're making a 90 or even a little more here. Spot here, nothing major. And it may be underneath that clean out, I'm not sure, it kind of looks like it. Based off the footage, we should be getting out of the house by now. A little bit of water sitting there, and I don't know how often this water's been run, so let's see, about 50 feet here. And see what we're doing. I'll try to push through it and hopefully we'll be able to rinse off, and then as we come back hopefully we'll be able to see that 50-foot mark. Sure what's going on here. I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to locate, see exactly where I am, and then we'll see if there's a possibility of running some water to try to rinse this off or rinse out the line a little bit. Okay, we are right up in front next to the clean out. Looks like there's been a repair made. The line's been cut out, so I don't know what I'm up against. But I'm trying to run some water, see if I can flush the line out a little bit, or at least clean off the camera lens and see if we can see what's going on. There's a pretty big buildup of something there. I'm not really sure what. So we're going to let the water run for a minute. I'm going to try to move the camera around a little bit and then see if we can at least make a move to the other spot. Oops. Make a move to the other spot there, and we'll see, because I am right at that repair. see if it's backing up or not. What I may try to do is put a standoff on this camera and get it out there. See if I can make it over top of that. So I'm going to pause the video real quick. See if I can get a fitting on top of there and raise the camera up a little bit. Okay. So let me try to push back out. We're at 44 feet. Let's see if this is helping at all. It does look like the water is clearing up, which is what we want. We want to run as much of this as possible. This all being black like this, I don't know what. Right around when I was having problems. Looks like I'm pushing through some pretty rough stuff here. Okay, I made it past that point. So hopefully this is flushing the line out. Continue to see if we can push all the way out to the main and then see if we can see better as we pull back. The good news is I was able to make it past that point. But this spot here is bone dry. I may have pushed through a blockage. Now the water is starting to catch up. Yeah.
I'll see you later, bud.
Oh, you leaving?
Yeah, I gotta go to a meeting. I'm meeting those dumpster guy. I'll see you around, alright?
Alright, so far, we're looking to see if this, we want to make sure that the water continues on down the pipe. It looks like maybe it started to make its way. There may be some buildup from sitting empty for so long. Looks like it's all dried out. I'm trying to run a bunch of water. Somebody flushed. So we'll see if we can get this pushed out. Having a little bit of problems. Get down here now. Stuck here and I can't see why that is. I'm going to keep running water and see if it flushes this line out. But I'm going to pause the video again and see if I can tell where I'm out and how close to the main I am. Okay, we are out in the street, or I'm sorry, right out on the sidewalk. So, see if we can get through this, but we're hoping if nothing else, I don't know how, like I said, I don't know how long this place has been empty, but there we go. Get all the way up to the main, but if we can get this water moving, sometimes it'll help. Got some dried up roots and stuff. stuff because the house has been empty for so long. There isn't too much water going through. So hopefully we can pull that out far enough, get the cube closed off, and then be able to see what's going on when we get on the way back. Definitely out the street. Make sure. I know it's noisy, but I know this is getting really loud, so I'm going to try to turn the microphone off and see if we can make it out to the main. Okay, we actually made it all the way to the main. I'm trying to let it sit here, see if it'll rinse the stuff off the camera. May not be lucky enough. You can see the stuff flopping around. It's still attached to the camera. So we're going to see. Hopefully we can see a little bit there. I know the main is really deep. Let's see what we can see as we pull back there. The water's finally starting to make its way it down, we want to see if we can flush all this stuff out of here. Be able to see better. For some reason, there was so much stuff built up in this line that it doesn't seem like it's doing a very good job of rinsing that camera lens off. So that looks about as good as we're going to get. You should be able to see any major issues, but I think this is at the very least going to need to be cleaned. It is open and flowing, which is a good sign. And based off of all the dry roots and everything, doing the periodic chemical treatment once the initial cleaning is done would be a good idea, maybe once a year. There are permanent options, such as having it lined or something like that, but I think what we're doing, I think a lot of this stuff is finally breaking loose from all this water running, because it is obviously open here. See, but there's some root intrusion there, about 104 to 107. We're probably starting at about 107. I did see a decent amount of root intrusion. I'm actually going to stop all the water, and then hopefully it'll drain down enough to where we'll be able to see. Hopefully it gets rid of enough junk in the line that we're able to see what's going on. So I'm going to pause the video, let it run for a minute. Okay, we still have a little bit of water here. We've tried to let it drain down. There's still a little bit moving through the line, but hopefully that'll give us a little bit more of an open look at this. See, that was good. We could see at least enough. We have some root intrusion here. Basically the entire length has some form of root intrusion along a lot of this. You see that's a big section of root intrusion there at about 90 feet. It's probably one of the worst spots. This is just material that's dried up and slowly being pushed down, which is good that it's making it all the way out, but you can see there was a large amount of stuff that's in the line there that it just hasn't been able to be rinsed out because it doesn't have normal usage. And this was right around this clean out here. From 75. I think that's kind of what's holding up this water. Gosh. What I'm going to try to do, I'll try to put a standoff on this and see if it raises it up enough to be able to inspect this a little bit better and get out to that point. But because this all looks really good, but from about 50 out to about 75 feet we're underwater. probably because of a buildup in debris around that. We do have a spot that is cracked here, so while I'm here I might as well go ahead and locate it. I'll have to find something to mark it. I don't want to paint the floor here, so I'm going to pause the video again, we're going to locate it and I'll pull back. Okay, so here's the reasoning behind all the extra footage. The line actually goes straight to the back, and underneath there's a piece of plywood leaning up against the wall. So it goes back to pick up the plumbing on the back corner and to pick up the stationary tub. So what's happening is it goes straight back and then comes forward and goes all the way to the front of the house. Now this spot is underneath. It looks like there may have been a connection here at one point, and then it's broken. It's only about 10 inches deep, so it's right below the surface. But I put it right underneath. I put that board right over top of where that is. And so the line's open. It looks good. The spots, except for that like 25 feet there in the middle, everything looks good structurally. It does need to be cleaned. Probably due to, like I mentioned a few times, due to the lack of occupancy. And so there's a lot of stuff here that is just being, it's been, you know, built up, and so I'm going to try to run it through with the standoff on the camera here. Out to that like 50-foot mark, and then hopefully as we get out here, there's that broken section here, and then once it gets past, that's where it turns left, and then turns back on itself again. So it goes back and loops all the way around back on itself. So we're hoping this will hold the camera up from about 50 to 75 feet right in through here. We're hoping we can get a little better look at this stuff here. If nothing else, maybe on the way back. That's at least a 2-inch belly. How high the camera is, but I'm pushing a lot of debris, I can tell. So try to get out to that 70 to 80 foot mark, and then we'll pull back and see what, hopefully we can see a little more, because this is the biggest part right here. I'm trying to push through a bunch of junk that needs to be cleaned out. I believe the whole house trap was removed from this area, but we can't really see, and I'm not really moving anywhere now with this standoff on it. So about 75 feet. Hopefully we can rinse this stuff off here. There's just so much debris here. I think I've got something stuck to the front of my camera now. I'm going to recommend that this, I do think you have a belly between about here and like 75 feet. Trying to see if I can find something else to mark this, and at least I should be at least able to tell you where it is. So I'm going to find something to mark. I'm going to pause and locate this spot. Okay, the belly starts, I actually marked it with a Sharpie on the floor there. Would come off with any kind of cleaner. This is the beginning of the belly up to the clean out. And a little past this, so basically up to the foundation wall, and it's a straight line. So from about 50 to 75 feet. And then see, we got something on the front of the camera there. I think that was like a wet wipe or something. And there may be something like that in the line that needs to be flushed out. You can see on the junction here too. For the turn here. You have a break at about 23 feet. Yep, there's a break at about 23 feet. It's holding shape, at least it's open, but it is cracked and broken. Okay, so let me get it all the way back. So overall, it looks like structurally the line is open and flowing. You have a belly from about 50 to 75 feet on the video. I've also marked the beginning of it, or the high end of the belly, on the floor. It's basically in the center with an arrow pointing towards the white clean out, and it's about 20 feet behind it, and so, or 25 feet behind it. From there to about the foundation wall, there's a low spot. At least it's holding water. It could be due to some heavy materials sitting in there. With the house being empty, it could be rainwater drawing mud into the floor drain and getting to that point. There may be a low spot there that's causing it to hold all this dirt and stuff, and just running a couple sinks isn't enough to flush the line out. So yeah, we'll put that on the report there. From 50 to 75 feet, there's a belly. I'm going to recommend a cleaning. There are, roots from about 50 feet on. There's relatively minor amounts of roots, but still, they're along the flow line. And so with everything the way it is, I'm going to recommend a cleaning to try to clean the debris out from the inside and the roots out on the exterior. And then there's that break at about 23 feet that is holding shape, and but it's only about 10 inches deep back here right before it turns and wraps back around on itself. But it is broken, and it's holding shape now and flowing, but it is broken, so may not be may need to be repaired immediately, but probably will be in the future. So that'll end the inspection at 274 Ward Avenue in Bellevue, Kentucky.